Part 31. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 301. This is dangerous. Your friend is too reckless. It's so dangerous inside. How can he, a student, just barge in? Uncle San, it's useless to say these things now. Otherwise, let's go in and look for Chu Wei, Su Peng said. The others also said, yes, let's go in and look for him. Su Yi was shocked. What happened to these kids? Did they ignore the danger for this Chu Wei? Is this Chu Wei really so charming? At that moment, Su Yi said, hey. How about this, you send me Chu Wei's photo, and Uncle San will go in to help you find it. It's too dangerous inside, and you can't protect yourself if you go in. The few people looked at each other, and it seemed that this was the only way. When Uncle San saw Chu Wei's picture, he said, I hope you are still alive, although the chance is small. Uncle San moved his body and went into Baimang Mountain. However, just as third uncle's body had walked out not far, he heard Sumomo and others behind him shouting in surprise. Look, Chu Wei is out. I told you that he must be fine. It's really Chu Wei. He's out. Great. Sumomo and others went to the entrance together. Su Yi followed their gaze and saw a 16-year-old young man slowly walking out of Baimang Mountain at the entrance. This young man walked slowly and calmly. He was young, but he had a temperament that could not be ignored. Students of Imperial Capital Academy are really not ordinary people, Su Yi secretly sighed at Chu Wei's extraordinariness. Chu Wei is so good, you finally came out, Fang Xian said, if you don't come out, our Sumomo will cry anxiously. Sumomo's face immediately turned red, no way. No way, I don't know who begged third uncle to go in and find Chu Wei just now. Fang Xian, if you say it again, I will beat you. Sumomo ran over and covered Fang Xian's mouth. When the others saw Chu Wei come out safely, they were relieved and all smiled. You are the Chu Wei they mentioned. You are indeed extraordinary, Su Yi came over and said. This is. Seeing Chu Wei's puzzled expression, Sumomo immediately said. He is my third uncle and Su Ming's father. Seeing that you haven't come out for so long, I am afraid that you are in danger. My third uncle was just about to go in to find you. Chu Wei listened and looked at the middle-aged man, Su Yi. Su Yi's smile gave Chu Wei a good feeling, and he was going to go in to find him just now. Although he was not in danger, Chu Wei was still slightly grateful in his heart. Hello, uncle, Chu Wei said politely. Su Yi, hello, I heard from them that you entered Baimang Mountain and were able to come out unscathed. It's amazing. But I heard that people like Bai Shui and Liao Jian, who are level 9 awakeners, have not come out yet. Chu Wei was slightly stunned. These two people had already become the dead souls under his sword. Of course they can't come out. Next, several people left together, chatting on the way. Su Yi is a very talkative person. When he heard that Chu Wei actually distributed the primary source of mutation to everyone, he immediately felt that Chu Wei was simply a great rich man. You know, even if the head of their Su family obtained the primary source of mutation, he might not share it with these juniors. It can only be said that Chu Wei is too generous. Looking at Su Yi's exaggerated words, Chu Wei shook his head helplessly. If he knew that he still had the intermediate source of mutation, he would probably jump up in surprise. As they talked, Su Yi and Sumomo and others invited Chu Wei to visit the Su family in Linhai City. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 302. It turns out that this time Su Yi not only came to Baimang Mountain, but also came to take Sumomo and others back to the Su family, because in a few days it would be the 70th birthday of the head of the Su family, Su Ding. All the younger members of the Su family have to go back, and the Su family is still the city lord of Linhai City, so Suding's birthday can be said to be a major event for the entire Linhai City. It will be extremely lively by then. Seeing Sumomo's expectant eyes and the enthusiastic invitations from Su Peng, Su Ming, Su Yi, and others, Chu Wei couldn't refuse. Just go to Su's house, just think of it as a trip to see something. I heard that Linhai City is a seaside city. Chu Wei has never been to the seaside in his whole life, so Chu Wei has always wanted to see the sea. And I heard Sumomo say that the sea in Linhai City is different from other places because there is a secret in the sea in Linhai City. But this secret will have to wait until Chu Wei arrives in Linhai City before telling him. Chu Wei was helpless, not knowing whether what this guy said was true or false, but no matter what, Chu Wei decided to go to Linhai City. Baimang Mountain is some distance away from Linhai City. During the journey, several people will also rest in the hotel on the way. In the hotel on the way, Chu Wei took out the 3 intermediate sources of mutation and the primary source of mutation in his room. Putting the primary mutation in his palms with both hands, Chu Wei began to absorb the source of the mutation. Chu Wei only felt streams of pure energy entering his body, intersecting with the spiritual energy in his body, and finally turning into spiritual energy. Ding. The host absorbs the source of primary mutation and obtains a spiritual energy value of 1 billion. The current spiritual energy value is 1.1 billion/4 billion. The current awakened person is at level 1. Call. Chu Wei let out a long breath. He could feel that the spiritual energy in his body was much more abundant than before. A primary source of mutation was worth 1 billion spiritual energy. This is faster than taking pills. Let alone practice. No wonder Bishui and Liao Jin desperately wanted to obtain the source of mutation. After absorbing the primary sources of variation, Chu Wei immediately placed the 3 intermediate sources of variation in his palm and began to absorb them. However, there is one thing that Chu Wei did not notice, that is, when he absorbed the source of primary mutation just now, in addition to the spiritual energy in his body becoming stronger, there was another strange movement that Chu Wei didn't notice. This abnormal movement is the devouring ability of Chu Wei's abdomen. When Chu Wei absorbed the primary source of mutation just now, the devouring ability became larger in size. Moreover, what is even more strange is that when Chu Wei was absorbing these 3 intermediate sources of mutation, the swallowing ability was swallowing a trace of the energy of the source of mutation into its origin. And it is slowly getting bigger. Chu Wei didn't notice all this. Chu Wei only felt that the spiritual energy in his body was getting stronger and stronger, and it seemed that he was about to break through the 2nd level of the awakened person. Ding. The host absorbed 3 intermediate sources of mutation and gained a spiritual energy value of 30 billion. The current spiritual energy value is 7.1 billion/32 billion. The current awakened person is at level 3. When Chu Wei clenched his fist, he felt like he could crush steel directly into powder. After absorbing the source of mutation, Chu Wei's strength skyrocketed by 2 realms, instantly 8 times as much as before. With such strength, if Chu Wei encountered Lan Kaoken again, he would be sure that he would just use the first gear of his power arm to beat him away. The upgrade was complete. Chu Wei took a long breath and was about to go to sleep. However, the next second, Chu Wei's heart trembled. Because he saw something black and liquid-like appeared on his palm. This black liquid gushes out from Chu Wei's body, and it is still increasing. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 303. When Chu Wei was shocked, the liquid turned into an octopus-like tentacle and stretched out randomly in the room. However, the next second, Chu Wei was even more shocked, because everything that was touched by the black tentacles, such as beds, electrical appliances, etc., disappeared. Or it was swallowed by the tentacles. It's the devouring power. Chu Wei immediately reacted, only the devouring power could have this effect. Chu Wei immediately checked his abdomen, and was shocked to see that in the abdomen, the source of the devouring power occupied 90% of his abdomen. The other powers were forced into the corner of the abdomen. What shocked Chu Wei even more was that the tentacles of the devouring power actually caught the source of the wind power. Moreover, it was swallowing the source of the wind power bit by bit. This change was completely unexpected by Chu Wei. Although he had seen the devouring power in the records, it seemed that it had no other actions except being a little overbearing after Chu Wei got it. But today, it finally showed its weird scene. Chu Wei ordered the devouring power in his brain to stop devouring the source of the wind power. However, the devouring power ignored his order. After a while, the devouring power swallowed all the source of the wind power. Moreover, its tentacles reached out to the ice power in its abdomen again. Not only that, the black tentacles in Chu Wei's palms had begun to devour the furniture in the whole room, including the chandelier on the ceiling. Just when the black tentacles were about to devour the walls of the room, Chu Wei suddenly shouted, "System, I want to enter the 9-story extreme tower." Ding. Opening. The next second, Chu Wei's consciousness came to the 9-story extreme tower. As long as his consciousness entered the 9-story extreme tower, the devouring power would follow in. Sure enough, when Chu Wei looked down, the black tentacles of the devouring superpowers were spreading uncontrollably in the dream space in the 9-story extreme tower. Chu Wei breathed a sigh of relief. In this way, the hotel room in reality was saved. His body shook, and when the wings appeared, Chu Wei flew directly to the 5th floor of the 9-story extreme tower and entered the universe on the 5th floor. However, just when Chu Wei completed these operations, the source of the ice superpower in Chu Wei's abdomen had been completely devoured. Damn it! How can I stop it? If this goes on, won't this devouring superpower swallow all of his other superpowers? Will it even swallow itself? After all, it is recorded in the books that the devouring superpower can devour the master in turn. System, I want to consume wisdom points to ask you a question. I want to know how to control the devouring superpower. Ding. System prompt, this question is confidential, and the host currently does not have the authority to know. You. Chu Wei cursed, in such an urgent situation, you actually dropped the ball and said you don't have the authority. At this time, the devouring power had already begun to devour Chu Wei's third power, and was about to devour Chu Wei's birth-promoting power. At the same time, at this moment, the black tentacles in Chu Wei's hands began to grow outwards crazily, 10 meters, 100 meters, 1,000 meters, 10,000 meters. After a while, Chu Wei's tentacles actually covered a planet in the universe. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shuxiangzk. Chapter 304. After covering it, the tentacles began to squirm, and after a while, the planet was actually swallowed up, leaving nothing behind. Chu Wei was shocked. Fortunately, he had just entered the 9-story extreme tower, otherwise the hotel he was in might have been swallowed up directly. I'm afraid all the people in the hotel who are under the realm of the Great Awakener will have to be buried with him. Devouring supernatural powers, so terrifying. And Chu Wei suddenly felt dizzy. Chu Wei knew that the devouring power that swallowed the planet just now was driven by his own spiritual energy, so it consumed his own spiritual energy. I guess it was because I consumed so much spiritual energy that I felt dizzy. What the hell, if he continues to get out of control like this, I'm afraid it will be really dangerous. Chu Wei's worries soon became real, and he saw that the swallowing power in his abdomen did not swallow the third source, but turned into a small tentacle and headed towards Chu Wei's heart. Apparently, it wanted to devour the master and swallow Chu Wei's heart. I'll do it. Chu Wei was furious and quickly mobilized his little spiritual energy to block the devouring ability, but he couldn't stop it. In almost a short second, the tentacles with devouring abilities grabbed Chu Wei's heart and devoured it. At this moment, Chu Wei felt like thousands of arrows were piercing his heart. This kind of pain is simply not something ordinary people can bear. I'll do it. Your master's devouring power will kill both of you. Chu Wei became furious and took out the self-destruction talisman. Since the devouring superpower wants to devour the master, let's see if this self-destruction talisman can kill him. Let's die together. In this life and death moment, Chu Wei's heart suddenly hit, and beat very hard. Then the black tentacle that was about to swallow Chu Wei's heart was shaken away. And Chu Wei's heart suddenly turned silver. It's so weird, that silver heart seems to have a mysterious power, and it's so majestic that it's inviolable. Even the domineering and strange devouring power source shrank back in fear in front of this heart, as if he had encountered the most terrifying thing. It doesn't even dare to swallow it. Bump. The silver heart beat strongly again. This time, a mysterious force could be seen, like transparent ripples, emanating from the center of the heart and passing through Chu Wei's whole body. Then it spreads towards the entire fifth-level cosmic space. Diffusion. Finally, when it spread to the maximum range, Chu Wei could hear the world around him click, like the sound of breaking glass. Click. The next second, a scene that Chu Wei would never forget appeared. The fifth layer of the universe around Chu Wei was shattered. It shattered like shards of glass. The surrounding space turned into countless glass fragments floating around Chu Wei. Everything was so quiet. It was so quiet that it chilled my heart. And Chu Wei's pupils also turned into sacred silver at this moment. Chu Wei couldn't see it himself, so he didn't know that his pupils had turned silver. Silver pupils, although there are pupils of various colors in this mutated era, silver pupils have never appeared on the entire Earth. This is the first time silver pupils appear on Earth. The black tentacle in Chu Wei's hand just now also turned into pieces. When Chu Wei looked at his abdomen, the origin of the devouring power seemed to be frightened by his heart. At this moment, it was huddled in his abdomen and no longer dared to mess around. Chu Wei tried to control the swallowing ability. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, GeniusProtagonist. Chapter 305. After giving the order, the supernatural devouring tentacle appeared in Chu Wei's hand, very obedient. Chu Wei was also surprised. It seemed that this devouring intention had been tamed by him unintentionally. You must know that Chu Wei has had the swallowing power for so long, and he has been in a state of being unable to mobilize it, nor can he use its ability. But now it works. Then Chu Wei looked inside at his heart. It was a silver heart, which was so strange. Every time it is mobilized, a strange and huge force seems to surge. Just when Chu Wei wanted to take a closer look, Chu Wei's heart changed again, and a rune suddenly lit up on Chu Wei's heart. This rune is as deep and mysterious as the stars in the sky. They surrounded Chu Wei's heart like a circle, and then began to flash continuously, between flashes. The silver color of Chu Wei's heart began to disappear slowly, turning into the appearance of an ordinary heart, and Chu Wei's silver pupils also disappeared. Then these starry runes also disappeared together, or it could not be said that they disappeared, but entered Chu Wei's heart and hid themselves. This is a seal. Chu Wei is the boss with open eyes. He is a formation master. His level may not be high, but he can still see the sealing formation. There is a mysterious seal on his heart, and this seal cannot even be understood with his current level of engraving. It is difficult to estimate what level of seal this is. However, after reading many engraved books, Chu Wei can guarantee that not only does he not understand such a seal, but it has never been recorded in any book on Earth. This seal is too advanced. The engraving technique is so advanced that one can only look up at it on Earth. This seal seals my heart. Chu Wei had never thought that his heart was different from ordinary people's. He didn't know when this difference started. Is it because my heart was silver before I traveled through time? Or is it because he traveled to 500 years later that his heart became like this? What a mystery it all is. System, what's going on with my heart? Ding. Answer the host, your question is confidential and you don't have permission to know it at the moment. I times yours, then you can always tell me whether my heart is like this since I was born, or whether it became like this after traveling through time, or whether this is your fault. Chu Wei wondered if the system had turned his heart into silver. Ding. Answer the host, your question is confidential and you don't have permission to know it at the moment. I'm going. Chu Wei couldn't wait to catch the system and give it a beating. But fortunately, the issue of the out-of-control devouring ability was solved today, and this ability can still be used in the future. Although the devouring power swallowed up the two sources of his own wind and ice today, the effect of one devouring power is infinitely more powerful than the two powers combined. Chu Wei had seen with his own eyes the destructive power that swallowed the supernatural power just now, swallowing up the asteroid. Although asteroids in space are relatively small, they are still terrifying. As for the problem of his heart, he couldn't find the answer anyway, so Chu Wei just thought about it lazily. After all, his heart is his, so does he still have an opinion about how powerful it is? But the power of the heart is sealed, and he can't unlock it. Only when you become stronger and have more knowledge can you find a way to unlock the seal and gain power. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 306. And Chu Wei guessed that the reason why the heart appeared today was probably because the devouring power wanted to devour it, so it fought back. Moreover, Chu Wei estimated that if he could get the power of the silver heart, it would be enough to sweep across the entire Donglian country immediately. Looking at the glass-like fragments around him, Chu Wei sighed that the power of the silver heart could be called the power of destruction. It was just a ripple when it beat, but it actually swept across the entire fifth-level universe. Such power can no longer be described as powerful. It can only be described as terrible. This is a terrible power. Crack, there was another sound of glass fragments. Chu Wei was startled, and then he saw that his body was also broken like fragments. Ding. The host died, and the consciousness returned to reality. The next second, Chu Wei's consciousness returned to the real space, and Chu Wei looked at his body at the first time. Fortunately, the body was not broken. Chu Wei let out a long breath. It was too terrible. If he had not been in the system space just now, he would have entered with his consciousness. Then I am afraid that I have become fragments and died now. It seems that he must be careful about his heart in the future, otherwise, being killed by his own heart would be a huge joke. No words were spoken that night. The next day, when the hotel checkout staff came to Chu Wei's room to check, the room inspector's eyes were straight as soon as he came in. Because Chu Wei's room was empty, furniture, bed, everything was gone. Even the chandelier on the ceiling was gone. Seeing the dumbfounded expression of the room inspector, Chu Wei was too lazy to explain and directly threw out a third-level giant spirit pill as compensation. When the room inspector saw the golden pill, although he was an employee, he was not stupid, and he went there happily. After meeting Sumomo and others at the hotel entrance, the group continued to head towards Linhai City. As for what happened last night, only Chu Wei knew. 3 days later, Chu Wei and his group finally arrived in Linhai City. The scale of Linhai City is similar to that of Nato City where Fuhua is located, and the Su family is the largest family in Linhai City and the city lord of Linhai City. It can be said that the Su family is the largest in Linhai City, and the head of the Su family, Su Ding, is a master of the Great Awakener realm. So this time, Suding's birthday party can be said to be attended by all the prominent people in Linhai City. Entering the Su family's mansion, Chu Wei saw what a big villa is, or in other words, the Su family is a villa complex. Entering this mansion is like entering a villa resort, which is extremely luxurious. Chu Wei couldn't help but secretly calculate his own property. In fact, he could buy a villa in any city with more than 300 million Lianguo currency. But Chu Wei's goal is only to become stronger, and he is destined to travel everywhere, so he just thought about it and didn't think about buying a villa. When he came to the largest villa, the housekeeper Li Yun immediately came over and said respectfully, "Third master, Miss, young master, you are back." Chu Wei glanced at the housekeeper. Although the housekeeper looked respectful, Chu Wei could feel that the housekeeper was also a cultivator. The strength should be around level 5 of the supernatural person. If this kind of strength was placed in Taiyuan City where Chu Wei used to live, he would probably be the strongest one. However, he was just a housekeeper in the Su family in Linhai City. From this, it can be seen that the overall strength of the Su family is the strongest in Linhai City. "I'm back, Grandpa. The master is inside. Come on, Chu Wei, I'll take you to see my grandpa. My grandpa likes excellent classmates the most." Sumomo took Chu Wei's hand and walked inside. Li Yun was slightly stunned. He had watched this young lady grow up since he was a child, and it was the first time he saw her so close to a boy. Could this Chu Wei be a big shot? Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzk. Chapter 307. Grandpa, I'm back. Entering the hall of the villa, Chu Wei saw Suding, the head of the Su family, the strongest person in Linhai City, and the Great Awakener. The old man had a long beard. Although he had white hair, it was combed neatly. At first glance, this old man must have been a handsome guy who fascinated thousands of girls when he was young. "Grandpa, let me introduce you. This is Chu Wei. He is amazing." Suding looked at Sumomo lovingly as he pulled a strange young man named Chu Wei in front of him, and couldn't help but look up and down at this Chu Wei. When Suding looked at Chu Wei also looked at the old man indifferently, although the other party was the lord of a city and the strongest person in Linhai City. But Chu Wei was not inferior to others in momentum, on the contrary, he was calm and unhurried. Chu Wei has this strength. What a dignified young man. Suding looked at the calm Chu Wei and nodded with satisfaction. You know, most young people are timid when they see a man of high moral character like him, and they dare not look him in the face. But this Chu Wei not only dares to look at him, but also has a calm attitude. Worth admiring. Grandpa, let me tell you, Chu Wei entered the Imperial Capital Academy with me, and he won the first place in the freshman ranking competition as soon as he entered. Oh, Suding's eyes lit up, and he obviously heard about the freshman ranking competition of the Imperial Capital Academy. A young man who can win the first place in the freshman ranking competition from the Imperial Capital Academy, which is full of geniuses from all over the country, deserves his special attention. However, Chu Wei's record is far more than that. He has been in trouble since he entered the academy. First, he beat Baiyu who provoked him, and then. When he said this, Sumomo looked at Su Ming and Su Peng, because the next plot was Chu Wei beating up the Su brothers. Su Peng and Su Ming also lowered their heads in embarrassment, wondering why they were so blind and wanted to offend Chu Wei. However, Sumomo skipped this part of the story and continued to say, later, Baiyu asked his cousin Fang Cheng Alliance to deal with Chu Wei. Although the people of Fang Cheng Alliance sent a level 9 superpower, they were knocked to the ground by Chu Wei with a slap. So powerful, Suding asked with a smile. However, from his expression, it can be seen that he was just perfunctory to Sumomo, although defeating a level 9 superpower with a slap was considered an outstanding young man. but there are several young people in the Su family who can do such a record, which is not surprising. Of course, this is not all. The president of Fang Cheng Alliance is a person in the awakening realm. Of course, he will not let Chu Wei go. You mean Chu Wei also defeated the awakened person of Fang Cheng Alliance? This time Su Ding had a look of respect. More than defeated, it was simply beaten. So powerful, this time Su Ding's expression was not perfunctory, but surprised. The young man who can beat the awakened realm may be only Su Shi in the Su family. Momo, you've only been at the Imperial Capital Academy for a few days, how come you're talking so much nonsense? A somewhat disdainful voice came from the person sitting below Su Ding. This middle-aged man is Su Ding's eldest son, Su Feng, and the father of Su Shi, the first genius of the Su family. Su Feng was naturally unhappy to see Su Momo praising an outsider like this, because in the past, whenever the Su family mentioned young people, they would always talk about how excellent his son Su Shi was. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 308. Uncle, I'm not bragging. Chu Wei is really awesome. Su Momo was very serious. Haha, Su Feng looked like I didn't believe it. Moreover, Chu Wei has more than just the record I mentioned before. He also defeated hundreds of seniors by himself. Even the 10th and 9th ranked masters in the school were defeated by him. He also asked loudly, who else is dissatisfied? Didn't you see that not one of the hundreds of seniors dared to speak? Grandpa, do you think Chu Wei is great? Upon hearing this, Su Ding's originally dull expression immediately changed. A freshman actually defeated hundreds of seniors, and there were also experts ranked 10th and 9th. What kind of strength is this? Although he didn't know what the masters ranked 10th and 9th in the academy were like, he knew that his most outstanding grandson, Su Shi, couldn't even get into the rankings of the Imperial Capital Academy. If what Su Mo said was true, then this Chu Wei was so extraordinary. It would not be an exaggeration to say that he was the first genius he had ever seen. Mo, it's okay if you learn to brag, but what you just said was obviously made up, right? Can a freshman beat hundreds of seniors? This is simply impossible. Su Fengru couldn't believe this was true no matter what. If Chu Wei is really that powerful, then his outstanding son Su Shi will become the trash among the trash compared with Chu Wei. He could never admit that his excellent son was inferior to others. Su Feng, Dad, do you believe what Mo said? This guy named Chu Wei can defeat hundreds of seniors by himself. Do you believe it? I have never heard of such a thing in all my life, and I don't believe it anyway. I won't believe it even to death. Uncle. Su Mo was a little angry. Okay, Mo, this is the first time that Chu Wei comes here. You just talk about this and that. Hurry up and take Chu Wei for a walk, Su Ding then said to Chu Wei. Chu Wei, just have fun here for a few days. If you need anything, just tell Momo. We are all classmates, so you are welcome. Chu Wei smiled lightly and nodded. Chu Wei didn't pay much attention to Su Feng's disbelief in his record. I can only say that the record I have created is too scary. Even if others die, they will not believe that I am so awesome. Whatever you can do, you can't just beat him to death. Su Momo took Chu Wei out of the villa. Chu Wei, I'm sorry, don't take what my uncle said to heart. Chu Wei smiled slightly, I'm too talented, there's nothing I can do about it, your uncle has never seen such an outstanding person like me in his life. Su Momo laughed, smelly. But Su Momo completely forgot who just praised Chu Wei to his grandfather as soon as he entered. Chu Wei continued to smile lightly, and he also thought of Su Feng. Strictly speaking, everyone in the Su family that Chu Wei came into contact with now was very kind to him. Only the Su Feng, Chu Wei could feel that this guy was hostile to him. Chu Wei couldn't help but thought lightly, no matter whether you are hostile to me or not, you'd better not mess with me, Otherwise, I, Chu Wei, will beat you to let you know how good I am. Su Ming, tell me, what is the origin of this Chu Wei? In the villa hall, Su Feng asked Su Ming, who was still in the hall. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 309. Su Ming hesitated, not knowing what to say. After all, Chu Wei was born in a poor family and came from a small place like Taiyuan City. Go ahead. Su Ming had no choice but to say, Chu Wei is from Taiyuan City. Although Chu Wei is from a small place, Chu Wei is really amazing. Haha. Su Feng smiled and said disdainfully, how amazing can a rural kid from Taiyuan City be? I wonder if you have been bribed by that Chu Wei? You all speak for him. And Momo, I wonder if Momo likes this kid, so she made up a story about how amazing Chu Wei is. I think it must be this kid who seduced Momo so that he could get on the big leg of my Su family. Uncle, how can you talk like that? Su Ming was angry, but seeing that the other party was his uncle, he didn't say anything too harsh, so he turned around and left. Su Peng also followed him. Su Feng, these kids are getting more and more rude. I think you are getting more and more rude, Su Ding suddenly said to Su Feng unhappily. Let's not talk about how strong Chu Wei is. No matter what, he is Momo's classmate. What you said is unfounded and insulting. Did I, Su Ding, teach you to look down on people from small places? Be kind. Yes, Dad, Su Feng, who was taught a lesson, felt more and more disgusted with Chu Wei. Brother, I have to say something fair. Chu Wei is definitely not seducing Momo. Chu Wei has given Momo the primary source of mutation. If the source of mutation is used to seduce Momo, then I just want to say that I also want to be seduced by Chu Wei. After saying this sentence that shocked Su Ding and Su Feng, Su Yi also left the hall. He also felt that his elder brother was too much today. In the blink of an eye, Chu Wei has been in Linhai City for 3 days. During these 3 days, Su Momo took Chu Wei to visit all kinds of snacks and fun places. Of course, Chu Wei also went to see the sea for the first time. Looking at the endless blue ocean, Chu Wei felt relaxed and happy. If it was on the earth 500 years ago, there would be many resorts on such a seaside. But in this era, few people go out to sea for fun. Because there are so many mutated creatures in the ocean in this era, it can be said that the ocean is one of the most terrifying places on the earth now. Looking at the ocean in front of him, Chu Wei didn't know if it was an illusion. His keen perception always felt that there was something strange in this ocean. This feeling is hard to describe, but it makes people want to go down and take a look. However, Chu Wei did not go down immediately. Going to the sea is not a simple thing. I don't know what kind of mutant beasts are there. Of course, even if you really want to go down and take a look, you have to be fully prepared. The next day, today is the busiest day in Linhai City in recent years, because today is Su Ding's 70th birthday. In the early morning, the entire Su family was busy, and the villa complex was full of busy figures. At noon, you can see luxurious sports cars entering the villa complex. They are the well-known figures in Linhai City who come to celebrate Su Ding's birthday. In a huge open space in the center of the villa complex, all the guests are drinking and chatting, some introducing their daughters to others. Some are praising their sons in public for how good and outstanding they are. Hey, look, that's the younger generation of the Su family over there, right? Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 310. A guest noticed a group of young people communicating in a striking spot in the square, and each of the young people there had an extraordinary temperament, and they were outstanding juniors at first glance. You can tell they are from the Suk family by looking at their temperament. I heard that yesterday, 2 juniors of the Suk family, Sukpeng and Suming, had already entered the awakened realm. Very impressive. Really? I didn't expect that. In addition to Sushi, the Suk family has 2 more juniors who have entered the awakened realm. It seems that they have a bright future. That's right, with so many geniuses, it will be difficult for the Suk family not to rise to prominence in the future. Who said it wasn't? I heard that even Miss Sumomo of the Suk family has reached the 7th level of the superpower, and she is also a heroine. Really? Well. Look, the girl in the skirt is Sumomo. A guest pointed at Sumomo. Today's Sumomo is different from the past. She is wearing a white skirt and looks like a princess. The reason why the Suk family members were able to make great progress in a short period of time is because Chu Wei gave them the primary source of mutation, which allowed them to break through in a short period of time. This is what made them shine at this banquet. Hey! Look, who is the boy next to Sumomo? Miss Sumomo seems to be very good to him. Look, Miss Sumomo even feeds him fruit herself. The exclamation of a guest immediately made several guests around look over. Oh my god, this boy is not Miss Sumomo's boyfriend. I am planning to let my son meet Miss Sumomo. He is a kid from a small place and he wants to marry Sumomo of our Suk family. He can't even think about it. Sukfeng's voice sneered beside the guests. So it's brother Sukfeng. So this kid is just a poor boy who wants to cling to the Suk family. So that's it? I thought this kid had some outstanding qualities that made Miss Sumomo like him. Because of Sukfeng's words, the guests around almost unanimously believed that Chu Wei was the kind of man who wanted to change his future by marrying a woman. Of course, there are too many such men in reality. Besides, who wouldn't want to marry the young lady of the Suk family? As long as you have a relationship with the Suk family, who wouldn't give you some points in Linhai City? Besides, just looking at the beauty of the young lady of the Suk family, I don't know how many young men have fallen at her feet. What's the outstanding feature? He really has one. Just brag. Haha. Sukfeng smiled, not taking the words of Suyi and Suding a few days ago to heart. He just didn't like Chu Wei. Even if Chu Wei really gave Sumomo the source of mutation, so what? Did he get the source of mutation by strength? Maybe he got it by luck. What's so great about it? Sushi, congratulations to Grandpa on his 70th birthday. At this moment, a loud voice came from outside the gate of the Suk family villa. The person hadn't arrived yet, but the voice had arrived first, which was enough to show that this person had a certain level of cultivation. Not long after the voice fell, a slender and tall figure came to the front of the open space like a shadow from outside. Greetings to Suding in the crowd at the top. This handsome figure made the girls scream as soon as he appeared. It was Sushi, the first young man of the Suk family. It turns out that Xiao Shi is back. I thought you forgot about Grandpa's birthday. Suding showed a happy smile on his face. Sushi has always been the pride of the Suk family. He will definitely become the head of the Suk family in the future. How could Sushi forget Grandpa's birthday? I was late for a few days this time because I went to pick this fire Ganoderma. Sushi took out a football-sized Ganoderma, the whole fiery red color, and looked like a ball of fire from a distance.